Alright, my fellow agents, welcome back to the Gaming Brigade, and we now have a new exotic shotgun in the game called the Sheriff, and I know a lot of players out there, including myself, have been waiting to see this thing introduced for a very long time. And you will get that exotic guaranteed the first time you complete the new Year 7 Season 3 Climax mission on Master difficulty, but I know a lot of players out there neither have the time nor the inclination to do that. So with that being said, the good news is that you can get it to drop on the lower difficulties as well, though it is not guaranteed. It could take you a while to do it. And every time one of these new exotics come out, what I try to do is the following. I will play this mission on challenging difficulty until I get it to drop to show you that it can actually happen. Now, I have been receiving your messages here at the channel asking me to highlight the different builds that I use regardless of the difficulty I'm playing on. I am in the process of doing that right now, but in the meantime, I strongly recommend if you are going to try this thing and use matchmaking for the highest difficulty, which again is the Master difficulty, for the love of everything holy, please do a little bit of research before you randomly just jump in, because there are certain mechanics you're going to encounter during this mission, and if you're not sure what to do, you're going to wind up dying and getting, booted all the way to the back, or you're going to get to the boss and have no idea what to do at that point. So just take a few moments, take a little time, do some research, that way you're ready to go. Alright, so with that PSA out of the way, as you can see on screen, I completed that mission on challenging. I did get the Sheriff to drop, and in full transparency, it took, I think, 6 or 7 attempts to finally get this thing. Now, the first thing you need to do the moment you get this shotgun is you want to go into your inventory and mark it as a favorite. And the reason I say that is because, unfortunately, I hear from a lot of players out there, you finally picked up something you've been farming for like a lifetime, and you forget to mark it as a favorite, you accidentally delete it, you reach out saying, is there any way to get it back? And the answer is no. When it's gone, it's gone. So take that brief moment, mark it as a favorite. That way you do not encounter the issue of destroying something that took you a lifetime to get. Now, with all that being said, it takes us to a topic I address every single time we get a new exotic weapon in the game, and that is reconfiguration. Now, first of all, once you get this weapon, the first thing you want to do is make your way to the base of operations, talk to Anaya, as she should have the blueprint for sale. Now, if for some reason you get there and she does not have this item in the inventory, please let me know and I will try to get you some answers. I've heard from a few people saying they do not see the blueprint, so again, I'll see what I can find out for you. Now, once you have the blueprint, you now have the ability to reconfigure the exotic. You want to make your way to the bench, go over to weapons, scroll down to exotics, and then make your way to the Sheriff shotgun. Now, some of you may be wondering why would you want to do this in the first place, and the answer, thankfully, is very simple. You have the option of reconfiguring an exotic weapon until you get the third attribute of your choosing. Now, to give you a quick example, as you can see on screen, the Sheriff shotgun I picked up has accuracy as the third attribute, but I do not want that. I would much rather it be damage to targets out of cover. Now, that means I can reconfigure it until I get the version I'm looking for. However, always remember that when you're reconfiguring an exotic weapon, you are never crafting an additional one. You are destroying the one you have and creating a new one in its place. So you're not going to have multiple versions. Now, that also means it may take you multiple attempts to get the one you're looking for. It could take 5, 10, 20. You could get lucky and get the one you want on the first time. So obviously, I wish you nothing but the best of luck. But please remember, my friends, once you have that new version, once again, mark it as a favorite. That way you cannot accidentally delete it. Hope this video helped you out, and as always, questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know. On that note, I'm going to leave you with some gameplay footage and a few final thoughts. As always, I want to take a moment and thank you all for your incredible continued support. Please let me know of any other questions you have I did not address. Thank you once again for the privilege of your time, and as I mention at the end of every one of these, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone. Hello once again, my fellow agents. I hope everyone out there is having a great day so far. One thing I want to make sure I mention that I failed to mention in the video is that, if you're trying to reconfigure this weapon, right, and you run out of resources, make sure you mark that one as a favorite, because you will have to circle back and try to reconfigure again until you get the one you're looking for. So do not destroy the only one you have. I cannot stress that enough. You know what I mean? And once again, the reason I say that is because some players do get confused and they think they're creating an additional one and you're not. And I know I just said that a moment ago, but I can't stress that enough. I hate to see players, finally get something they've been farming for and then destroy it, and it just sucks, right? So again, take your time, don't make that mistake. The other thing I want to mention, as far as a build is concerned, I will post a build video going over what I used to solo this thing on Heroic. I haven't attempted Master difficulty on my own as yet, and honestly, I don't think I intend to. You know, I will join a group randomly, I'll try to do that, but I've also heard there happens to be some issues at the very end with the molten lava, and coincidentally, as I'm recording this portion of the video, you can see the game actually posted something on Trello, and they say there are issues with the cooling molten metal in the climax mission area, so consider this your fair warning in regard to that. But as I showed you in the gameplay footage, I did get this to drop on challenging. In my opinion, this thing is a monster. Like, I'm really looking forward to using this. However, I gotta mention this. As of my recording this video, there also happens to be a bug where the Sheriff shotgun accuracy buff is not functioning correctly in cover, which totally sucks. Now, if you're using a shield, you're fine. If you're not using any shield whatsoever, that's fine. But if you go into cover, you will see the difference when you aim down the sights. So that's all I got for this video, my friends. Again, this thing is a monster. You know, I'm using it with a striker build. I got a shield going, just running around. You are lighting things up left and right. As I said previously, let me know of any other questions you have I did not address. Thank you once again for everything, and I will see you in the next one.